Greetings to you and welcome to today's special podcast. You are probably also looking forward to starting a podcast, all right, or to becoming a content creator just like me. And I would be more than glad to share my expertise, all right, with you on how to actually start a podcast like a pro, all right, or how to start a YouTube channel, or how to just be a content creator and a professional one for that matter, right? You would bear with me that content creation has become such a competitive endeavor of late, right? In a sense that everybody tries to upgrade, everybody tries to produce the best content that they can, right, and put it out there because, like I said, it's very competitive. Content creation, just like any other activity, is very, very competitive. And for people to actually have interest or even develop interest in watching your content, then you must make sure that you produce good quality content, right? And I'm pretty sure you like my voice, right? That is thanks to, for instance, the Shure MV7 mic that I'm using. You probably like the video quality. I'm shooting 4K. That is thanks to the Sony ZV-E10 camera. That is probably not the best of a camera, right? But it is, a top camera for somebody like me who is just a beginner, you know. There are even cameras that have, way lower quality than what the Sony ZV-10, but it's actually one of the best cameras out there for people that are looking forward to starting a professional podcast like me, or to doing, even vlogging and many other types of content creation. It could be a very good start, the Sony ZV-E10, right? And the mic too. I don't want to really go into the like with regards to the mic too. You could consider, let's say, the Shure MV7 or any other kind of dynamic mic. The Rode series. You could go in for Rode mic, for instance, or you could even use a wireless mic like the Rode Wireless Go 2. All right, but let me surprise you by letting you understand that to actually start a podcast or to even start content creation, you don't really need to break the bank. All right. Before, for instance, I got a Shure MV7 as a mic to record. I was actually creating content using just my computer, right? And I would, as a matter of fact, I had no camera at that time. And I was actually making screen recorded videos and all of that. Anytime I needed to do something in the form of a podcast, I would use my smartphone, and that was enough. I've been able to grow my YouTube channel, which was and still is Minukun Tutorials. All right. I've been able to grow it quite significantly, and that was what even motivated me to start a podcast. So I'm just trying to let you know that I will actually walk you through, like I said, my little studio that I've set up for my content creation, especially for my podcast. I will show you actually my whole podcast setup and many other things that you may consider acquiring as far as starting a podcast is concerned, right? But a quick reminder, as I said earlier on, you don't really need all these, all right? So as I walk you through my studio, I'll be telling you at the same time maybe alternatives, all right, of anything that I have, and maybe how you could start without you necessarily getting any of the things that I may show you. All right, I don't have much, but I don't know how to say, I'm content with what I have, and I'm more than glad to show you, to inspire you to also what, so that in case you're also looking forward to starting something, that could actually be a guide, you know. Like I said, you don't need to break the bank at all. So I would be more than glad to let you understand that each step of this studio vlog, what you should not buy in case you are just a starter. Like I said, your smartphone is enough to start a podcast, but I'm sure you like my rich, warm, quality broadcasting audio. So if you do, then there would be a need at some point in time to upgrade, But at the same time, like I said, I promise to let you understand that I will be showing you alternatives, just to make sure that you don't break the bank to start a podcast. With that said, let me show you around my little studio. Hope you like it. So let me take you around the studio, and then I'm going to show you all that you would need to start a professional podcast. All right. And at the same time, as I always repeat, I'll always let you understand that you don't need any of or certain things that I will be showing you in this particular video, right? So for instance, right here you can see my big soft box here. In place of this big soft box, you could record with what? Your light bulb, which I've actually switched off. Just that, you're not gonna get good lightning, right? So, which means you could record even in broad daylight. As a matter of fact, during the day, I could just simply open my curtains and I will have natural light. At night, I could record using my light bulb. Or if you can afford, then you get yourself what? A soft box like the Godox SL-60W, right? That is the lamp, actually, the LED lamp, Godox. And then the soft box is actually what? The 60x90 soft box. I'm going to show you when I turn the other side so you see how big it is. It's actually the 60x90 soft box, right? But most importantly, in starting a podcast, you have to think of, at least you need a place, right? So you need a convenient place to start your podcast or to set up your studio. In my case, I think this place is very, very convenient in the sense that I have right here with me a couch, which is actually convertible. I can actually turn it into a standard bed. There's no need vlogging about the couch, all right? Nobody comes to the studio to sleep in the studio, so let's not talk much about the couch, right? But I think this is very convenient because you would see in some of my videos, I do it while sitting on the couch, and I have this middle table here, which is very good for me to place my stuff and do my, so that's what I'm saying. Your setup needs to be very, very the place of setup is very, very important, right? So before you even conceive the idea of starting a podcast, you need to assume that, okay, I'm gonna have at least a place. You don't really need, your place doesn't need to be nice or whatever. I am lucky to have found myself in, let's say, initially I was in an apartment that I was actually living with other apartment members, and I never had the luxury of being able to to have my own couch as I do right now, right? So, but after I relocated, I got a place at almost the same price as my previous place of location, right? Of residence, and I have some of these things available. So I just had to buy my equipment to start my podcast, and I just had everything available. Things became very easy for me. So in your case, the question is, do you want to start your podcast on a couch? If you don't want to start your podcast on a couch, then erase the idea of starting a podcast on a couch. In terms of a place, as a matter of fact, some of my videos are actually recorded on that table. So you just need a table and you are good to go. In terms of, a place, or, in terms of the space, this is how my setup is. So I could either do couch podcast or I could do it on the table. That is how I do it. You can even do your podcast while standing. It's possible, So it depends on your setup. So I think I've talked enough about the place, Now we will lay emphasis on the equipment if you want to start a professional podcast. The equipment here, I think it depends on what kind of podcast you want to do. Do you want to do a video podcast or an audio podcast? I think a video podcast is always more advantageous, simply because that one actually gets you more views. And sometimes people just enjoy how you talk and not necessarily sometimes your content. So, but that's up to you. If you are interested in just an audio podcast, then all you have to do is to invest in a mic, right? I'll be showing you the mic in details. Here I have my Shure MV7 dynamic mic. As you can see, it comes with this tripod stand, or whatever, which I hardly use because I have this standing stand. I said this standing stand, right? But this stand that is perfect for me, and I even had a, what do you call it? A clamp kind of stand, but it's broken. I still have pieces of it, the clamp that but I don't even enjoy setting up the clamp stand, so I just prefer this stand over here, and I'm always good to go. And this actually, if I don't forget, I'll make sure in the description box I put the prices of each of these equipments as much as I can. For instance, this stand, I got it for like 17 euros or so, and it's very, very marvelous, for my mic. So if you had to do audio podcasts, all you have to do is to invest in your microphone. We'll get into the details, but that's what you have to know. But in case you want to do a video podcast like I do, then you need to invest in what? Invest more on a camera, So in terms of camera, I have the Sony ZV-E10. Okay, so if you look at my setup, I'm sitting over there. I have my light here, my Godox 60-watt lamp, and I have my camera mounted there, right? So maybe if you want me to turn on the camera, anyway, so that is pretty much it. I've actually, I don't need to do that right now, but I'm using the Sony ZV-E10 camera, which is a good start for a beginner like me. The Sony ZV-E10 is one of actually the best cameras, though it's not the best of the best, but for a beginner, if you want to do vlogging, then it's good, because it comes with, the Sony ZV-E10 actually comes with, it doesn't come with it, but I bought the Bluetooth handle, which helps me actually use the camera to do vlogging, and also help me to control the camera from a distance when I'm recording. I don't need to, I just press start and I can lock it, unlock, I can movie mode, zoom in, zoom out, All right, so that's for camera. For camera, like I said, I'm using the Sony ZV-E10. All right, in terms of softbox or light source, I'm using what Godox 60W. All right, I would put in the description box links to all these. All right. What else now? Let me get to the main thing, and then I'll tell you more about what other thing that you need for a podcast. So like I said, you need your mic. I had the luxury of getting myself the Shure MV7 and also the wireless mic, Rode Wireless Go-To mic, okay, that I use in case it's actually a dual purpose mic. So in case, for instance, I'm to interview people, then I can, if I'm to interview somebody, I can use my wireless mic. That is my choice because I don't want to have a setup where I will have to get like an audio interface and all of that. So to do away with the audio interface, I got my Shure MV7 mic, which is actually a USB mic. Okay, so you can see right here that I have this USB here. There's a USB cable here, and it runs through this way, right? It's actually very long. It comes with the Shure MV7 when you buy it. So it's quite long. So I have the USB here, and it's down here and it's connected to my computer over there. All right, so this cable is quite long and it comes with a mic. And at the same time, because I want to record, I did not want to buy an audio interface. Okay, so what I did was that I decided to buy a long 3.5 millimeter head-to-head TRS cable. Okay, so you see how it is. So this long 3.5 millimeter head-to-head TRS cable, I fixed one end to my Shure MV7 mic. Okay. All right, so I fixed one end to the mic. All right, and then the other end is actually, the cable is actually very long. It's like 30 meters. I'm very lucky. Like I got it for like, I can't remember how much, 17 euros or so, but it's very long. I'm so happy I bought this. It's one of my best investments. So you have this cable, look at how it's coiled and it's still here. It's still in my hand, Look at how big it is. And then you see the wire right there. Okay, and it's connected to my camera. Okay, so if I should turn the camera this way, you'll actually see that it's connected inside here. It's connected into the mic jack of my camera. By doing this, so I have the cable, like I said, it's a very long head-to-head TRS cable. Okay, if I remove this, you can see, so 3.5 millimeter head-to-head TRS cable. And with the help of this, it means I'm able to simply I can remove this lens cover, turn on my camera, sorry, and I actually remove the memory card, but I will be telling you, I removed the memory card to tell you something about your choice of memory card, especially when you have to use the Sony ZV-E10 as a camera for your podcast. So you see, there's a lot involved in setting up a podcast if you want to do it to the best of your ability. If not, like I said, you probably might just need a stand. So I have my tripod here for my camera, but the same tripod, you could get a tripod and you use it for just your phone. you could mount your you could mount your phone on this tripod in place of what? A camera. So you are not obliged to get a camera to start a podcast. If you have any of the latest iPhones or any iPhone at all, you should be able to what? To set up your podcast with your phone, starting with just your phone. In regards to light, as I told you, I'm using the Godox big softbox 60x90, but you're not obliged to use this. I'm getting the Godox softbox. Let me turn this way, you see it. So this is the light source, okay? The softbox, the Godox. And what did I want to tell you? This tripod is actually Amazon Basics tripod for the softbox, and it holds it quite well. I got it for, was it 17 euros or so, or 11 euros, and they gave me 2 of them at that cheap price. But you might not have, assuming that somebody's living in Africa. In Africa, 17 euros is a lot in Ghana cities, for instance, as a Ghanaian, and one might not be able to afford. So would you need to get yourself, for instance, the softbox itself is like 100 and something euros, 120 or so. Would you need to buy something like that? You don't need all this. You could use natural light. At night, you use your light bulb, I know you don't get the best quality of brightness, but you could just manage that until, like I was doing, until I was able to set up my studio. And even in setting up my studio, I still had to ignore certain things. Like I said, I don't have audio interface. That's why I chose to buy my USB mic. So I have the USB cable here, as you can see. Okay, so the USB is connected here, and then the other end is connected to my computer, as I showed you, my laptop, because this is to help power the mic. So you see that when I removed the USB cable, the mic went off. Let me fix it back and you see. See that when the mic is powered, so it's just to connect it to your computer to power it, and of course the mic would would use some drivers in your computer to function properly. Okay, and then the other thing that you need is simply your head-to-head audio jack. So one is fixed here. I showed you the other end, and I said I got the longest one, so the other end I fixed it simply to my camera right here, and I'm good to go. So this way I'm comfortable. I just record quality broadcasting audio from my Shure MV7 straight into my camera, and at the end of the day I just have one video file with rich audio. If I want, I can edit the video. Of course, I do edit my videos most of the time. And if you would like to know what software I'm using for my video editing, I use this Filmora Wondershare. But you are not obliged to edit your videos. You could just record with your phone and you upload it raw. The purpose of podcast is to be real. You probably could just be yourself. You could just use your phone to start a podcast, and with time you can now upgrade and get yourself all these stuff. Here too, what else did I want to tell you about? The camera. I'm gonna be telling you more about the camera, for instance the Sony ZV-E10 in a future video, what comes with it, and everything, and how you can optimize your Sony ZV-E10, for instance, by buying yourself a dummy battery. So see the dummy battery here, okay, that I fix into my camera. All right, I remove the battery and I put this in case I'm to record for long hours. So I just plug the charger or the dummy battery straight, to my AC socket, and I remove the camera battery. All these are investments. So if you cannot do all this, then you just use your phone. I keep repeating, until you save money to do that. I also have this in case I want to do some street interviews. This could be helpful. But do you really need this to start a podcast? No, that's what I'm telling you. And of course, since I have the Sony ZV-E10, I've bought myself Camlink 4K, which I use in case I want to use my camera as a Camlink. This is not even needed for this is needed for tutorials, but not necessarily for podcast, but it could still be used for podcasts, especially if I'm to use OBS and I need a good webcam. Then I can just use my camera, so I get 4K output from my camera, and instead of using the poor webcam that is on the laptop. So this is like 100 and something euros. And of course, one very, very important thing that you should consider is your choice of memory card for your camera, in case you have to use a camera. Somebody recommended the SanDisk Extreme Pro. There's actually 180. I got the 256, and I'm able to record 4K. It's very durable, and it's just very, very good for my camera, Sony ZV-E10. And what else would you like to know about setting up a podcast? So the most important that you need for a podcast, if you want to be professional, make sure that you have a dynamic mic. Because in my opinion, when people see you with the mic, it adds a level of professionalism. If you have like a dynamic mic in your podcast, I even prefer the dynamic mic. It looks more traditional and professional to actually the wireless mics. The wireless mics are only good to me for vlogging, or sometimes when I'm to interview people, but if I'm to do a real podcast, then I would recommend you rather invest in a USB mic. This way you don't need an audio interface or anything. You just plug the head-to-head TRS cable, one end to your computer, to the mic, one end to your camera, as I showed you. Then you plug this to the USB to the mic, okay? And then the other end to your computer. And you are set. When you finish recording, you remove your memory card from your camera, you fix it to your computer, and you have your video ready to be uploaded. So let me come this way once again, and you can see my studio. As I told you, the softbox right there, the camera, my mic over there. If I want to do my videos on couch, I do it here on the couch. Anyway, I hope you got a lot of value from this particular video. Please make sure you subscribe, and see you in the next video. Let me know if you want me to talk about something else. Bye for now.